I was using a new microphone on this trip for windy conditions, and unfortunately hadn't realized that I bumped a switch that muted it. So the first couple of minutes will be me narrating over events well after the fact, but then I'll be back to normal for the rest of the video. Here I just came upon the compressor setup here, which I was pretty taken with. Looking up the hill there, you can see the workings we came back here to check out. There are several up there. Then I just pointed to the first one we're going to go see. And then in the meantime, heading up to check out the setup they have here. It's pretty unusual. It was, you can tell it was sort of incorporated out of an old truck, because you can see the remains of the bed there, and then in a minute you'll see the dashboard of the truck. And something else that's unique about this is it still has at least the remains of the belts and hoses and that sort of thing, and that's also pretty rare. This is a site that's really not visited, as you'll see, because there's still lots of bits and pieces of things around that, if it had been a more accessible site, people would have absconded with long ago. So I don't remember what I was saying here, but I was probably just taken with the stuff that was still there. I see the remains of the dashboard right there. Those are my friends that were on the trip, or this particular trip with me. Looking on the front, you can see the frame there. And coming back around. This would have been a fun one to see when it was still operational. Of course, that wheel would have had a belt on it. And just last little look over the stuff here. We were down below there shooting before, and on the hike up, spotted another adit across the way there, which we'll check out later. Now we're up to the level of the first adit we wanted to see. This one with the rail coming out of it. We'll be going in there in a minute. That's the portal up there. Has some old oil cans here, which I thought was kind of cool. So I think that's what it is. I can't read what that says now, but pretty sure that's what that was. My buddy there. And we were just looking over some of the bits and pieces of equipment out here. Some of the valves and things like that. Pretty country back here, as you can see. And those are the workings up above we still have to go check out. But for now, we're going to go check out this one. Looking out over the waste rock pile, and you can see the rail coming out of the mine there. As I said before, the portal is right here behind us. Unfortunately, over the winter, the melting snow and rain and such washed down a fair amount of rock and dirt to block the portal, so we had to move a decent amount of rock aside to be able to get in. Also, as you can see from looking around the portal, that ground doesn't exactly fill in with confidence, so it wasn't the most appealing thing to slip into, but we did, and the normal audio is going to resume after this. Okay, I just dropped in the portal there, and here's a look going down the adit, probably a haulage adit, based on the adits above. While I was getting sorted, my friends went ahead, in case you hear the voices. You can see the some water does get in here, obviously. Probably in the winter, you know, the snow melts and such, and water comes down that wash. And it's interesting. You see the tracks, even though they're buried in the mud. You can see them highlighted in the mud right there, and then they start to come out of the mud up here. Always nice to see tracks instead of a mine. I don't see any timber support, but I don't see any ground fall either. So it sounds like there's a decent echo. Looks like the rail takes a turn to the right up there. Definitely takes a turn to the right. The adit keeps going back there as well. There's a pretty sharp bend, actually, for the work carts to make. You can see it runs back there. Well, as I'm here, I'll go down this one. There's some bits of wood here, piece of rail, looks like an old grease bucket, probably for, looks like it was a grease bucket, probably for greasing the tracks or cart wheels and such.
Okay, it's just a face right there. That is the end of that. So we'll go back and go down where that rail's going. Alright, we just looked down there, and now we've got this drift running off to the right. Actually, it's still the main haulage at it. Follow the Adit off to the right here. This looks like the airline down there. Rails keep running ahead as far as you can see that way. Old Folgers coffee can, repurposed to hold looks like some track spikes and nuts and bolts. Nice little shelf there on the rock. A little bit of ground fall here, but nothing too significant. More ground fall there. And you can see it bends to the left right there. Very angular rock in here. A little bit more ground fall as we're bending around here. And it looks like we hit a face here. I just assumed this would be a haulage at it for those upper levels, but apparently not. It's kind of interesting. They ran that way back. And you can see the other drill marks here, but they didn't expand on that. Guess it didn't assay out very well, or I mean, this just seems like a prospect. It doesn't seem like they actually produced much of anything here. Seems a lot more exploratory in nature. All right, well, I guess we'll go hit those upper workings. Okay, we just hiked up from the portal down there. You can see the rail there. There's that natural cave we're at down there. And while we're hiking up, my friend noticed that stone cabin down the wash there, so we'll definitely check that out on the way out. Behind us here, we've arrived at first waste rock pile. There's another one over there. And the deal with this one is that it's a shaft. Deep, deep shaft. So I don't know if they that used to be part of a windlass, or they had a platform up here and a little mini head frame or what, but that drops straight down. Find a rock here, toss down for you guys. Doesn't sound like it goes too far, but I certainly wouldn't want to fall down there. There, I stopped. So it's not too deep, but yeah, it's extremely vertical. And it seems like it's filled up with dust or mud or something on the bottom, because it just sort of makes this deep thud when it hits. It doesn't make the sharper noise it makes when it hits rock. So yeah, I'll have to leave that one for someone else. We'll go check out the one over here. So I was just shooting from up there, and we've come to this other one, and I thought this was an Adit, but it's actually well, it's shaft-like. See the ladder going down there. It's filled in though, so our friend went down there. He's checking it out. He says if he went that way a little way, he says he sees daylight, so obviously it must connect to that other shaft right there. But it looks like it just goes there and stops. Sorry. Oh, shit. Tripping over my other friend here. It's got that little archway right there. It's kind of cool. But we're waiting to hear if it's worth scrambling down there or not. Yep.
Alright, so this links up to the shaft that we were previously at, the stoping, and it basically runs off over a false floor and not accessible.
Okay. Alright, so I don't know if you heard the report from the friend or not, so I'm going to do this in case you didn't hear it. But he said, yeah, it did confirm it just runs into that other shaft right there. So there's a piece that cuts out that gets to a false floor that's not supported and it's caving, so it's not able to get across the false floor. So unfortunately, this is the extent of what we can do. Okay, we just checked out that one, and the one right here. A few other race walk piles here. Just surface workings where they checked out there. And you see there's another cut in the surface right here. And also over there. And also down there. So I think we'll drop back down and check out that cabin in the creek or in the wash. Alright, we're sending the kid up to check out that thing. We weren't sure if it was a natural cave or an adit. Pretty sure it's an adit looking at it from this perspective. So waiting to hear if it's worth going up to or not. Just a little prospect?
Yeah.
How far? 20 feet?
20 feet in. Then there's a face.
Alright, well, 20 feet in a face. I'm glad I didn't go up there. So just to put all this in perspective, that adit with the rail is right there. And then now we're going to go up and check out that stone cabin that's just up here in the wash. Alright, we just hiked up from down there to get to the cabin here. My friend's already inside. The roof has come down, but the walls are still intact. And what's really cool, actually looks like they had like a leather door or something on it right here. What's really cool is you can look back, see the fireplace right there? That is really cool. Got that huge boulder there as a mantle. Anything back there?
No.
Just can.
Wood. It's all cut nails.
Square nails?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an old one, I can tell. There's a view of the roof. Piece of metal right there from an old barrel, looks like. And I noticed it looks like there was another one up here. A bunch of stacked rock just over here. I'm not sure what this is yet because it doesn't really look like a home or a cabin or anything. What was this? Maybe a blacksmith operation? I don't know what this was. It looks like it was here just for the fire, which is why I'm speculating about the blacksmith. Because almost every mine needed a blacksmithing operation. Back in the day, the remains of a piece of wood right there. Just some stacked rocks. It must not even have had a roof or anything. But you can see the stacked rocks there. I mean, obviously they built walls around it. And a piece of metal right there. Doesn't really give us any clues about what it was. So I'm going to go with that theory, because I don't have a better one right now. Interesting stuff. And there's another look back at the stone cabin. Those guys next to it for some scale.